If you want to be able to clean out the drainage channels on your Bentley Continental GT, save hundreds, maybe thousands of pounds in the process, then you're going to want to watch this. And at the end, there's a special bonus with a tool I've made especially for helping you to get that job done. Cheers. One of the most commonly raised questions on the forums and groups is around the subject of the drainage channels and the terrible damage that can occur if we don't maintain them. In this guide today, I'm going to show you how to clean the front scuttle, the boot spoiler drains and the petrol cap drain holes. First, we'll look at the boot. This is the home of your car's batteries and a lot of its electrical systems, modules and controllers. Actually, every nook and cranny in the car is. So this is nothing special. What does make it special is that the boot spoiler has a drain channel, or two drain channels rather, that can sometimes leak water into the boot, causing all sorts of electrical issues and rust and mold and stink. And we don't want that, do we? No. However sexy that boot spoiler might look when it pops up at whatever speed that comes up, I don't know. There is a big price to pay if you end up with a swimming pool where your batteries are stored. First of all, we're going to lift up the boot lid and inspect the grommets, which is where the pipes from the channel terminate. This is where the water will run out to and across your bumper if they're working properly. Sometimes they can just be clogged up at this point here. So we can test these, close the boot again, pour some water across the boot spoiler and see if it actually does emit from these drain channels. And if it does, then you're probably in good shape. If, however, you've got a musty smell or dampness in your boot, then you're going to need to look a little bit further in. And this is where we're going to have to remove the panel under the boot lid to gain access to the pipework. First of all, we're going to remove the hazard warning triangle. And under this, there are two Torx-headed screws, as you can see there and there. And the final screw is actually under the handle that you use to pull the boot lid down. The rest of it is just clipped around the periphery. And I'm going to use my clip tool from this handy set to release that safely. The whole thing pulls out of the way and you can gain access to the tubes that I've mentioned before. They're here and over there. So if you do have a leak, it should be fairly obvious where it's coming from now because the pipework will be wet. But here's some pointers. Where the grommets are in the bottom of the boot lid that I mentioned earlier, these pipes sometimes become dislodged, so just check that they're fast, like this. Yeah, that seems okay. And then at the top, there is a trough, kind of a funnel made out of plastic, which is what allows the water from your boot spoiler channel to make its way down these pipes. Now this can just sometimes be blocked, or sometimes it can deteriorate and crack. If it does, then you can replace them, or you could do what most people do and get some black silicone and artfully bodge it up. It's never going to be seen and it's probably going to last as long as a new set would anyway. Once you're happy with what you've done, close the boot lid again and try the water test. If you're using silicone, it's best to give it a few hours. You don't have to wait 24 hours like it says on the tube, but at least an hour and a half will do it in warm sunlight. So once you're confirmed that the boot channels are working, it's draining across the bumper, then you can put everything back together. It's a direct reversal of how we took it off. So it's clips around first, then locate the screws, the 3 Torx screws, get those fastened in, put your warning triangle away, and you're good to go. Well done. Now secondly, we're going to look at the front scuttle drains. This is probably the worst part and the most difficult to get to, and it does involve a little bit of work and a few tools, one of which I'm going to show you how to make at the end of this film. So keep watching. The drain channels under the front scuttle are actually housed underneath the heating, ventilation and air conditioning control unit right in the middle of this panel here. And to get to it, we're going to need to remove the wiper arms. So we need to go into the car, put the ignition onto ACC, that's just the first position without starting the engine, and navigate through the control panel like this to get to the point where we can actually set the wiper blades into park. This is, I think, called wiper replacement setting. Now you have to leave your ignition in ACC while you do this. For for some reason. I don't know why they didn't just make it so you could turn your car off and leave them up until you got back in it, but there you go. So you're going to need to leave it in ACC, so it's probably a good idea to have a battery tender on so you don't flatten the battery. Once the wipers are up and in position, it's a good idea to mark them on the windscreen with masking tape. So this helps you to realign them properly when you're putting them back on. Really smart idea. Next, we're going to lift the bonnet and we're going to have a look for these plastic quarter turn screws. As the name would suggest, you just turn them at quarter or half a turn and they will release. There's a rubber trim that runs all the way around the engine compartment, and that needs to be carefully pried off. And then sometimes, but not always, there's a couple of screws in the top left and top right hand side of the scuttle that connects it to the bodywork. With all of these done, we need to move to taking the wiper arms off. To release the wiper arms, you're going to need to remove these plastic nut covers. Use a little flat bladed or slotty screwdriver just to pry them up carefully when they don't crack. And underneath you'll see there's a 13mm nut. So the idea is to loosen this nut and the wiper arms will miraculously pull off. Yeah, not so much. So to make things even more interesting, these are made of aluminium and they connect with steel, and aluminium and steel tend to have this corrosive action with each other. They react with each other and it makes it very difficult to get them apart. So it's well worth investing in a very cheap item for your toolkit, and this is a wiper blade puller. So in here, and the wiper blade puller should, if used carefully, avoid you having to replace your windscreen as well. This has happened a few times, not to me thankfully. So with the wiper arms out of the way, it's time to remove that plastic cover and have a look underneath into the scuttle area. So when the cover out of the way, you can have a look at all of the interesting electronics and modules and units that are in this bath, full of leaves and cobwebs and bits and bobs that really shouldn't be there. It's not the greatest design in the world, unfortunately, and the drain channels themselves are hidden underneath the HVAC unit. So you're going to need to create a special tool to attach to your vacuum cleaner to get all of this gunk out. And if you watch the end of the video, I will show, I'm a plumber, so I put one together using bits off the back of my van. But if you know a plumber, or you can get to a hardware shop, you should be able to make something for yourself pretty easily if you follow the instructions. So we're going to get in there with my special tool, and we're going to have a little rake around underneath the HVAC unit and try and pull out all the debris and leaves and all of the gunk that's going to cause us a problem. Even if it's not causing you a problem now, it almost certainly will do in the future. The big problem with that is that when this fills it with water, it finds its way into the car through the passenger footwell, and where it finds the Kessie unit and the front body control module and all the other expensive bits and bobs that are going to make your life fairly miserable. I took an additional step here because I've got a garden blower. And with the vacuum in place, I actually also give it a blast with the vacuum leaf blower to free up anything that's knocking about that might just end up in the same place that I'm cleaning up now. I wouldn't do this unless you've got the vacuum cleaner attachment there and in about the right place to stop the debris getting into where you're cleaning. But I just think it's a really good idea to clear it out while you can. To test your work, you need to pour about 1 litre of water away from any electrics obviously, but into this scuttle area, and then very quickly scuttle yourself under the car and just see if you can see it draining about the area where the gearbox is, because that's where the drains come out, right on top of your gearbox. If all's well, then it's time to put everything back together, starting with the plastic cover and then the rubber trim, wiper arms, and you're done. Great job. So we're going on to the final and easiest part of today's video, which is cleaning out the drain hole in the petrol fuel flap filler cavity. And what you might notice when you're refueling sometimes is there might be some grit and grime and a little bit of water knocking about in there, which is not at all welcome. If this gets too bad, then it can eventually leak into the boot of the car through these rubber seals around the edge. So what we're going to do is use a clean cloth and just wipe away from the drain hole any muck and water that we've got there at the moment. It's important to get this fairly clean before we try the next step. Next step is to get some clean water and pour it into this hole and see if it drains. If it does, then happy days. We'll go and have a cup of tea, an early bath. If not, then we're going to have to try something inventive, and we're going to use your finger. You're going to create a tiny little plunger with your digit. So pour some water into it, and then use your finger just to tap up and down over the hole and create a little bit of suction, get some plunging going on, and 9 times out of 10 that'll cure it. If it doesn't, then you're going to have to move on to the strimmer line method, which means poking some strimmer wire into it, use plastic, and pull it in and out until you clear the blockage. If that doesn't work, then it's a very much more serious problem, and you're going to have to start looking at removing wheels, wheel arch liners, and get into where the pipe goes through. Hope that's not the case. So that's it for this week's video. I hope you found it useful, entertaining, and interesting. And if you have, please like it. Give me some comments in the boxes for suggestions for any future videos, please. And if you're not subscribed, like 82% of you watching this pulling yarns, I really appreciate it if you did. I promise it won't cost you anything, and I'm not going to bug you. Okay, so thanks a lot. Happy motoring, and I'll see you next week.